Season 2 of The Aligned Businesswoman is back, and I'm burning it all down. No more people pleaser, no more good girl. We are going to step into our power, the CEO and goddess we were born to be. I'm revealing all of the drama and trauma behind the scenes and sharing my lessons with you. Check out some of the guests I have for this season.
And you're like, gosh, what are they doing that makes them so just, I want to absorb everything about them.
It will dictate the mood on how you manage your day. And then your evening routine is going to help you release all the stress within your day.
You're one step behind because you're always waiting until they make the next move so you can kind of copy that move.
Welcome. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to be back. And I'm so excited to start this new segment of behind the scenes, behind the recording, so that my YouTube subscribers, you can get the first look, first access, first hear, or whatever you want to call it, to the upcoming episodes to the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. So this is going to be very raw and unedited. You're going to hear my bloopers. You're going to hear all the good stuff. You're going to hear my mess ups. But the idea is that you get first access, like I'd mentioned, and you get to have a more intimate connection with me because you got to see I'm not perfect. And so before I get started on recording the podcast episode, oh my gosh. Well, actually, let's just start right now. Let's just start, and I'll have this be part of the episode, which the episode for this week is called CEO Power Planning for Q4. That's a tongue twister. CEO Power Planning. I feel like I need to do exercises in my mouth. Yeah. All right. We're just going to get started, and then I'm going to tell you about my glow up this summer. I guess it's a glow up. And I'll try not to cry. All right. You ready? And take one. Welcome to the, wait, how do I normally say it? I forgot. Oh, welcome to another episode. Okay, let's start over. Take two. Welcome to another episode of The Aligned Businesswoman. I'm Vanessa Ann Miller, and I'm so happy to be back with season 2 of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. So, this summer was it was heavy, so heavy. I'm going to give you a little bit of behind the scenes of what happened in my personal life, and then we'll dive into today's topic, which is CEO power planning for Q4. I know by the time you're listening to this, it's going to be you just started Q4, but that's okay because you can get some juicy nuggets from this. And so make sure that you get your journal out, you take some notes because I have some really awesome tips for you. But for this summer, oh my gosh, I ended season 1 with a recap of what was really going on behind the scenes in my personal life. And as I'm building my business, and I had mentioned my mom was sick and she was dying from cancer. And it was just really hard for me to see her, all the things. And, it was just really hard. Unfortunately, she passed away on July 18th. Not going to cry. And when I look back, I was like, gosh, I knew it was coming. But the other day I was looking through my old text messages. I needed to find a text message. And then I saw her last text message to me. And it was I felt like the last time she had texted me was 3 or 4 days before she passed. And then when I would go see her, she was unresponsive. She was just kind of sleeping and moaning. She really didn't know what was going on. And I remember sitting with her and reading a book to her called I Am the Word. And it was just really interesting how the chapter that I opened up to was about our purpose in life and the learnings and what life is. And so the next day, she passed away, and I was happy that I was able just to read with her. And I really do feel, and this is what the nurses told me in the nursing home, that she went away peacefully. And I'm going to miss her, and I'm going to appreciate every lesson that I've learned from her. I had struggled growing up feeling that because I didn't grow up with her and I grew up with my father, that she abandoned me. And this past year, and especially this summer, has been such a glow up for me spiritually, emotionally. With the passing, is like I really stepped into my power and my own responsibility of like, well, taking responsibility for my own thoughts and my actions and my beliefs. And so what I've learned in the past year, especially, like it's just been like, whew, my personal growth has just been exponential the past year, especially getting getting into the whole neurolinguistic program, getting certified and all that good stuff. And what I've realized is that all the things that I placed blame on her, and all the things that I was like, you didn't love me, and you didn't, you weren't there for me like you were for my other sister. What I was able to do is really see the light in her and see the love in her and see like how much she actually did love me, and that she did the best that she could with the resources she had, with the upbringing that she had, the belief systems that she had. And so that was just a gift I feel that she has left me, to be able to show me some lessons, and to be a mirror for me of like some of the things that I need to adjust with myself, and remove the blame and the other things that I put onto other people, and really see like how can I become a better version of myself? How can I do better? And so that was my glow up, I guess, if you will, this summer, and what happened. And quite it, it was a very sad moment. But I, at the same time, it was a very it was an awakening, and I was able to appreciate the bad with the good, and I miss her. And I just know that she's in a different dimension, or she's in a different place, but her energy's still living. Her human body may not be here, but she's still living in spirit. And I'm hoping she's having fun up there with Prince, because she loved Prince. And I hope that she's just knowing that my sisters and I appreciate the gift that she was to us here on earth. But that was that. And all of those learnings and all the things that I was able to experience during the summer, which is a little bit of a reason why I took more time to myself before relaunching the season 2 of the podcast, was because I really wanted to go within and explore myself more, and really step into my leadership and be the type of woman that I want to follow, to embody those characteristics, those traits. And so I took a little bit of time to have my glow up, and now we're back. And now we're going to be talking about CEO power planning. And one of the reasons I am so passionate about the CEO power planning that I do with my group members inside the Quantum Leap group program is because when my mom was in the hospital, this is before she went into the nursing home, I was beginning to develop the concept of the Quantum Leap program with the CEO Day, the Goddess Day, and then the Doer Day. But there was a time, it was actually on Mother's Day, that I had to get back to Houston. She was in Austin, and I had to get back to Houston because I needed to get back to my business. And for some reason, I was running this strategy of like, let me go get her this gift, because I didn't want to show up to the hospital without a Mother's Day gift. And so that took me longer than expected. And by the time I got to the hospital, it was my plan to give her a facial, to do her eyelashes, because the way the cancer treatment was treating her, like she lost all her hair. She gained weight from the steroids. And so I already knew, like, she was making these jokes of like, I look like Uncle Fester, and, just, making jokes about her appearance. And so I knew that it's important to her, because my mom was always very dainty, very fancy, like very put together, in the sense that she always wanted to put her makeup on and wanted to be cute. And so I knew it was important for her to feel good and feel pretty. And I asked her, I was like, do you want me to give you a facial and I could put eyelashes? She lit up, and I was so happy about that. But I was unable to do that because like I said, I don't know what strategy I was running. I don't know why, I allowed myself to come to the point where I didn't have enough time and I had to get on the road. I regret that to this day, of not being able to put my business on hold, to reprioritize my time with my mom, to give her that facial. And so the things I teach inside the Quantum Leap is about allowing yourself the freedom to put yourself first, your loved ones, and all the reasons of why you're doing your business. And so it was like it felt like I was out of alignment in that point, because I was like, how am I doing? And I know it was like still fresh, like the program content was still fresh, and I was still trying to navigate and embody it myself. Um, but that is the reason why this program is so important to me, because I want to make sure that if the women that are in the program, if they choose to, if they want to be more present parents, or a present parent, or I'm sorry, present partner, that their business affords them the time and the resources, the money, so that they can be able to do those things and not have to say, sorry, mom, I got to go back to work on my business, although this may be the last time I see you. And so I'm very passionate about this. And part of what we do every single month inside the Quantum Leap program, which is available for you to join at any moment, it's open enrollment. I designed that purposely so that there's no pressure or stress to join at a certain time. Like, I really want to honor your time and your own resources to be able to join this. And so I know that most people are like, oh, you got to make sure that you close doors so you can have urgency and all that. No, this is going to be open for whenever you're ready to join. And so it is an open program, and I hope that you can join us soon. But going back to the CEO power planning that we do, every single month we do this, and it is so important as an entrepreneur to be able to look at your business from the eyes of logic, but also to feel into the emotion of it all. There have been times, and I see this with myself, and I've seen this with other people, when, and especially with clients, when they're making decisions in their business based off of pure emotion. They shut down a program because no one is seeing them, or no one joined after a week, or, they're just like, oh, well, I just don't feel visible, and no one's really buying, and, all this stuff. And they shut it down instead of looking at the metrics, instead of looking at the numbers of like, okay, was I fully going in? Like, how many times did I really show up for this? And how was that feeling? Like, they don't manage, or they don't look at both the logic and the emotion of it all. And so they shut it down because it's based off emotion. Or sometimes they lean in too much of the logic, and they're like, well, this makes sense for me to do. It makes sense for me to show up in Facebook groups because I have a big audience here, and it makes sense. But although I'm not passionate about it, I'm going to show up anyway. And so they bring this drained, exhausted energy into their marketing, and things don't work out. And so in the CEO power planning, we mix woo and the practical. We focus on channeling our divine, or we focus on channeling our higher mind for divine business guidance, and allowing our minds to kind of rest, and really the critical faculty to really just relax a little bit, so that we can get inspiration from our higher mind. And then we use the feelings that we're getting and looking at the metrics, the analytics from the past month, and we bring those together to really determine, like, what should we be doing the next 30 days? How should we be growing our business? What should be our focus in the next 30 days to be able to reach our income goal? Those two things combined really empower you to cut the crap out of like all the things that you're doing that are keeping you busy, that you're like thinking, I'm doing the work, like it's really just a waste of time. It's like it's your self-sabotaging behaviors that are keeping you small, that you're allowing to lie to yourself with, because you're just feeling, as long as I'm doing an effort, then I can keep going in my business. And so some of the things that I want to talk about effective CEO power planning. So this is about great time for you to kind of take notes, and let's see how you can use this for your business in Q4. So some of the things that we do is that we start with the end goal. What is the end goal? So since we do the CEO power planning days every single month, we do it once a month. It's about a 2.5-hour workshop. We do it the fourth Monday of the month. And we start with the end in mind for the next 30 days. Yes, we could do 90 days, but I found that when we can shorten the time, we can give ourselves some more consistency and more momentum to be able to do the thing within that amount of time. Sometimes when we give ourselves too much time, we end up not doing it. And so we do the 30 days at a time. And so for the people watching on YouTube, I apologize. My light is flickering. I don't know why it's doing that. So for effective CEO power planning, you want to start with the end goal. So what is the end? Like, how do you want the end of the 30 days to look like? Not just numbers. I want you to also feel into the feelings. Like, how do you want to feel? Allow your subconscious mind to put itself into the future by invoking all of your senses. What do you want to feel? Do you want to feel excitement in your belly, in your chest? What do you want to see? Maybe even what do you want to smell or even taste? What do you want to hear? And then what are the number, like the income goals that you want to see, or maybe even the payment notifications coming up? The intangibles, the energetics are just as important as the tangible, like the income goal. And so we want to look at those things. And yes, we want to look at income goal, audience growth, and things that you're going to delegate. But we want to overall, like the intangibles and tangibles, we want to start with there. Like, what is the end goal? Like, how do we want to reverse engineer from there? And then what we do is we take inventory of all the resources that you currently have so you can be able to reach those goals. Sometimes we have squirrel moments, or we get distracted and we buy these programs and we do all these other things thinking that we need them to be able to reach our goal, when in fact we have a lot of things in our toolbox. And so it's so important for your time, money, and energy leaks. This is another thing that we identify inside the program each month. But it's so important for those three things to be able to know what's in your inventory, or what are your resources available to you, so you're not spending more time or money or energy getting more things when you already have the stuff in place. And so taking inventory is number 2 for the effective CEO power planning. And then number 3 is just, you're making the list. You're making a list of all of the resources. Now here, yes, it's good to know all of the resources you have available, but you really want to pinpoint what are the resources that I need for a specific goal. For example, I have a ton of courses available to me, but in the next 30 days, my focus is not going to be all about PR. I have some courses on PR. My focus is not going to be all about YouTube ads. Really, my focus is all going to be about Facebook ads, and then growing my podcast. And so taking those resources that I have, whether they're courses, downloads, even coaches that I have access to, I want to put them into my resource tab in my spreadsheet so I can easily go to them and keep track. So I'm not all over the place trying to find things. I have them, saved in the location that I need for the next 30 days. And so once we know what we have available, we want to choose the offers that are going to align with the income goal that we want most efficiently. What I mean by that is, if you have a $10,000 goal, income goal by the end of the month, you really don't want to chase around $27 tiny offers. You want to figure out, what is the offer that I have that can get me there most efficiently? Because that's when you're going to get the cash injection into your business so that you can reinvest in your business, that you can use whatever you need to pay yourself and to pay your team if you have one, or to hire a team. That is how you scale. So you want to choose offers that will get you to your income goal efficiently. This is especially important if you're new to the business or you've plateaued and like I said, you need a cash injection. And you're going to attract your clients based off of what you're selling. Sometimes people do things in reverse. They say, I want to, my client needs this $27 thing before they can get into this bigger program. So I can't sell that. That's not in alignment. I want to ask you, is that just a story you're telling yourself because you're afraid to go big? And are you putting your hands in your clients' pockets? How do you know that they're not going to be ready to invest in that $2,500 high ticket offer that you have, like the coaching you have or the program you have? How do you know that they're not going to be ready for it? How do you know that they're not going to be like, I'm tired of piecing things together. I'm just ready to go all in and invest. And so when you can Allow yourself to feel good about the offers you're bringing to the table, and allow that to attract people, instead of trying to figure out like, what can I sell you? What can I sell you? Which kind of leaks out like desperate energy. You want to be in your power and be like, this is what I have. I'm confident about this offer, and I know this is going to get you where you need to be. And I trust that you're mature enough, you're an adult that can make a wise decision for yourself. And if you need to come up with the resources, you're going to be able to figure out how to do that. I'm not going to have to try to convince you, because there's a need there and I have the solution. So once you've selected your offers, you're going to focus that you're going to focus on in Q4. You're going to map out all the ideas of how you're going to talk about these offers. You're going to use, what I like to do is like, I like to see like how many weeks are in the upcoming month, because sometimes we have 5 weeks in the month. And so what I like to do is like, okay, how many weeks do we have coming up? All right, there's 4 weeks. I'm going to select 4 different topics to speak to. So on week 1, I'm going to be speaking to this specific topic to create awareness around my offer. And then week 2, I'm going to do this. So you basically have like, it's very simple. You have a phrase maybe, or like maybe a title, same thing. Or even a word, like like a specific topic, a word for each week of the month that's coming up, where you're going to build content around that. I like to make sure that my members leave our CEO power planning with an idea of like, okay, this week I'm going to be talking about this, and the next day or next week I'm going to be talking about this, so that when they come through, or when they come back for our weekly co-working cohorts for the doer days that we do inside the program, that they know which topic they're going to be building content around. And here's another thing too. When we do the CEO power planning and we're looking at the metrics, we are looking at things like, where am I showing up that feels good and is working? Where am I showing up that feels good but's not working? And where am I showing up that is working but it doesn't feel good? So that they can release they can give themselves permission not to be in a place that doesn't feel good, and that's definitely not working. Or maybe it's working but it doesn't feel good, and they're just, it's a fluke. They're just like, I don't even like being here. I'm just doing it. I'm being forced to be on this platform. And so when they know which platforms they're going to be really focused on, and usually this doesn't change from month to month, but it may change over a few months. Then after they selected their topics for the upcoming weeks, they know what type of content to create, because they know what platforms are going to be putting it on. So if they're going to be on YouTube, then they know to create video content, and they can use my repurposing strategy to be able to have all the assets, all the marketing assets that they need, so that they can be on at least 2 platforms. A lot of times people are going to at least have a Facebook or Instagram, and they're going to have an email list. And with the Facebook or the Instagram comes the stories. And so they can repurpose things, some of their content onto stories to make it a lot easier for them. And so during the topic like selection, asking yourself, what does your audience need to know in order to buy from you? And you have to be aware that there are going to be people coming into your audience that are going to be completely unaware of how your product or your service can help them. And there's going to be people a little bit more advanced or ready to go. And so making sure that you can speak to people all different areas and be able to deliver that information that they need to know in order to buy from you at the level that they're at. In the content that you're creating, and this is another reason why we have a hot seats. We have a hot seat the week following the CEO power planning. So like once they have their plan in place, we have a hot seat. They bring back their plan. I'm like, okay, this is my plan. This is my content topics. And this is how I'm thinking I'm going to address it. This is how I'm going to be talking to this. These are my talking points. And so at this point, they're going to come in and they're going to bring that plan together. And we're going to figure out how can we blend both emotional and the logical parts of the buyer's thought process so that they can choose whether to buy from you or not. And then we also have, we simplify things with an overarching topic that they can build content out from. So it's very simplified. It's this is the arching premise, like this is the overarching meaning of my, or message behind my business. And these are gonna be the little topics I can talk under every single week, each and every week, so that their audience knows that they have like the clarity, like, okay, this is what the overarching like reason why I do want to come to this person. And then these are the different specific areas on how they can help me with this, maybe marketing or mindset or money or health. Hope that makes sense. And then when you have this beautiful CEO power plan for the next 30 days, you're like, okay, I know my income goal and I know how I want to feel at the end of the month. And I know, the things that I need to do. And these are the topics I'm going to be talking about for the offers that are going to align to the income goal. And it's time to do the plan. Schedule 1 to 2 days each week to create the content for these offers. Again, you're going to have doer days for creating content. You're going to have doer days so you can have conversations. So not only are you just like creating the content and you're putting it out there, but you also need to have the sales conversations. I like to say for my doer days, it's about the 3 C's. It's about creating the content, having the conversations, and setting up the collaborations so you can expand your network. So let's recap, shall we? 1, you're going to want to start with the end goal in mind, including the intangibles of the energetics of how you want to feel by the end of the 30 days. You want to take inventory of your current resources to reach your goal. And then you want to make a list of any missing, I missed this. You want to make a list of any missing resources that you're going to need, because you already have all of the resources listed. Like, what is there anything missing? Do you need anything? Or are you all good with that? 4, you want to choose the offers that are going to get you to your income goal most efficiently. So if that means higher ticket, then go all in with a higher ticket. 5, once you selected your offers, you want to choose the content topics that are going to speak to that offer. And hopefully it's one offer. Sometimes you can do one big offer, and then for people that are, not ready yet, you can always have some kind of like passive offer going that you mention here and there, which would be like something small with a tiny offer. And then 6, once you have your content topic selected, you want to go and fledge out your content by scheduling 1 to 2 doer days where you take action, you create the content, you have the conversations, you connect with potential collaboration partners. All right. I hope you enjoyed that new episode of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. Season 2 is back with a vengeance. I'm so excited because I have some amazing nuggets to share with you, juicy nuggets that you're going to love. And you're like, who is this? She had a glow up over the summer. All right, love you. And I will see you on the next episode of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast, Behind the Scenes.